Hey, hey, hey. It's September 5th, and this is your cousin Sherry. It's good to see you again. I am here today to talk a little more about Q. A little more about, go back to the basics a little bit because, wait, let me, eh. Because I just, I've gotten a few private messages and I feel like I want to, I don't know, people need to justify following Q. And I think that with everything that's going on, I mean, there's a level of frustration out there. People want to see arrests. They wanted to see Comey arrested. I don't agree with that, but I'd rather see it happen in spectacular fashion when he goes down for something like lying on the FISAs, for signing the FISAs, not for the little, not for the confusing mess that he did with his memos. That was, he knew what he was doing. He knew what he was doing, and he spread it around and wrote a lot of memos and didn't give certain people certain parts of them. So that was going to be a gigantic mess. The FICE is pretty straightforward, at least the fact that he signed 3 of them. So, that boy's going down. So are a lot of people. Okay, but what I really want to talk about is a couple things. I spoke to a few people today that are liberal, completely on the other side, but just kind of your average people. They're not people that go and they're not activists. So getting a gauge of where they are, they've heard of Q. They think that everything's a conspiracy theory. They think that Jake Tapper is a knowledgeable source of information. So yeah, there are people there that are just under that silly impression that they can flip on the news and learn for real about what's going on in the world. Not a total propaganda, source of propaganda. It's and it's a little sad. And so when I pose some questions to them, like, well, don't you think that Hillary should be prosecuted for her emails and the content of her emails? It's so important. I got, oh, you're still talking about that? And I said, well, we never really did talk about that. We never did talk about what we learned from looking through them. We never talked about the fact that she's giving her a copy of her emails went, we think, to China. I'm pretty sure that that's a fact. That, I think I heard it in a congressional thing where they asked Peter Strzok, whatever. And one of them said to me, Hillary sending her email or having her email sent to China, to what end? And I thought to myself, well, wow. If they're that far behind and they think that it's that big of a stretch, then we have to open up their minds to the fact that there could be, that a big conspiracy is not something that's totally outlandish. I guess it took me a little while to understand that whether you're a Freemason or a politician involved in some sort of blackmail, or a star in Hollywood, or even just a really rich business owner, it's all really the same, pyramid. It's the same structure. It's the same. It is part of the same system, and it was planned long ago. So, for my friend to say to what end, I think that I feel bad if I don't know when this landslide of information is going to come out, but people are going to have a real hard time sorting through it. And I don't know, like, as far as networks go, who's going to play it on television? Where are they going to get these facts? I hope they come. Excuse me. I hope they come to. I hope they come to the internet, but they've been they've been groomed. That anyone that says the letter Q or anyone that follows Trump, or then they are just a conspiracy theorist. So I don't know what to say about that. But I started with a list of things to ask my friends, like, look, you're looking around. Do you agree that there's something in the ether? There's something going on with people, and people are not they're not themselves. There's something else going on within our culture right now, and I feel like it is tangible. And they agreed. Yes, people are. They seem more divided, and if you call it to their attention, you say, but in your real life, in your daily life, are do you see racism? Do you see all of this stuff that you've been told is out there? And they don't. Not one of them. Not one of them could say the whole races, as far as blacks and whites go, that doesn't even exist. Out of all the people I've asked, not one person saw one example of that. I have a hard time. I mean, okay, maybe it does exist in some places, but it's not rampant. It's not like when you turn on the TV, they make it like you're going to walk outside of your door and you're going to encounter something. And that's just not happening. Oh, well, yeah, and now one thing is nothing is sacred now. I mean, I kind of like the old adage that you don't talk about religion or politics or your salary. There's just a few things that maybe you don't give up. And it does seem on social media, certainly on Twitter, but people are slightly protected if you're not using your name. But I do think that that's a little, like, that's something that's changed in the culture. People are just putting it all out there, and then fighting about it online, and that's not cool. That's not, I don't know. So that's one of the things. Okay, so now there's all of these new terms. I do remember maybe about 15 years ago when my son was young, there were some new words coming into play. Back then you couldn't say Indian style. You'd have to say something like crisscross applesauce. If you were gonna sit with your legs, like that. So there were some terms, and I didn't have a problem with that. That's fine. But the the pronoun thing, I mean, I would never disrespect somebody that came up to me. I would never disrespect them, regardless of what they look like or what they did to, if they wanted to put an arm from their forehead, I'm still not going to be disrespectful to them. So, but as far as like somebody coming on a podcast and maybe getting in trouble for saying the wrong pronoun, I mean, I've had this debate with younger people quite a bit because they grew up with it. They don't have such a problem with referring to a single person as a they. And because it's grammatically incorrect and everything about it sounds wrong to me, I can't do that. I can't do they. I can't call a single person they. Like, Joe is going to the barn. They said they would come back later. Who? Joe and who? No, it's just Joe. Okay. Now, so that's gotten a little crazy. People getting in trouble for it, and everybody talking about it. So yeah. So what's your red flag moment? I mean, do you have these things every day where you realize, wow, stuff is changing a lot? Now, I believe that if Donald Trump didn't win the presidency, there'd be a lot more changes right now. There'd be a lot more. Our rights would have been taken away a lot more quickly. I mean, they're talking about a few things right now, and I believe it's the guy with the eye patch. I think he's in Arizona or Texas, Dan something or other. He signed a bill, and it's for gun control, red flag law, and really it's you can be spied on. You can be spied on if someone thinks that you might be the kind of person that would be dangerous with a gun. And that to me seems next level China stuff. I don't like it. I don't like it. I hope it doesn't go through, and I will certainly write my congressperson about it, but in Connecticut, not a whole, not a chance that she's going to read it and think that, have it go in my favor. But I will do my part. I'll do that. But, red flags. Again, write to me and tell me what your red flag moments are, because I don't see how people don't see them. And so, people do experience a few, and it's on those points where you have to get them, and maybe just try to give them a little knowledge, give them a little truth, expose a little truth to them. I would never say convert somebody, because I don't believe that that's our job to convert people. It's just our job to guide them to places where they can find the truth. Because if they're a good person inside, if they're compassionate, which, most liberal people that I know are. I don't know too many activists or people that are going out and trying to hurt people. They're just people who genuinely care about other people. And they care about money going towards social programs. And so for that reason, they would rather vote Democratic. And to say to them, well, you know what, right now, it's not about that. It's not about Democratic and Republican, because there's certainly a ton of Republican jerks. It's about trying to it's breaking down the current power structure. It's looking at this and saying politicians were never supposed to be career politicians. They're supposed to be elected for a couple of years at a time, and a lot of these people have managed to stay in Congress for 30 years, because we didn't realize as citizens, we didn't realize what was going on. They were making themselves permanent fixtures in Washington and kind of making it like, oh, don't worry about elections. We got that. And we didn't fight hard enough, and we didn't see. We missed a lot. We missed a lot of things. A criminal empire grew to the point where, almost to the point of no return, under our watch. And that can never happen again. So, you got these people. So you have Donald Trump, who is the front runner in of the Republicans, and why that didn't smack me in the face. I mean, it did smack me in the face, but until he won, I didn't realize how bad the problem was. And I hate that I voted for Hillary. I hate it, and I'll never do it again. I changed my party. But bringing an outsider in, bringing somebody in that is not beholden to anybody, who, quite frankly, they'd never accepted in their elite group. And there's plenty of history of that. And yeah, of course he was at the same parties. He was part of the same thing. But he's one of those people that actually has a history of not partaking. The fact that he doesn't drink. The fact that, women was his thing. Maybe he doesn't talk the way people want a president to talk, but he's honest. He's honest, and he's breaking down a power structure. He's dismantling not only just the politicians that are standing there and, they've never worked harder in their lives than they've had to work these past 2 years. They're constantly trying to, if they're not trying to make a bill that, looks like they're doing something, and but in it's got a bunch of poison pills because it's trying to stop Trump. I mean, so you've got that going on. You've got a layer of government that I think were installed in the 70s. They're called the SES. Look up the SES. Senior Executive Service. And these people, from what I understand, these people it had nothing to do with qualifications. It just had to do with putting a layer of people between in every department of the government, between the workers and the upper management. And these people get the salary for life. And their job is, they are basically representing the current corrupt power structure. And they will do everything in their power not to let things travel from the bottom to the top. And basically, they're the cock block. They're the cock block of the government, the SES. And that's something that's got to change, because that's what the slow walking is all about. That's where it is. It's in this one layer there's not a whole lot of spotlight on, but these people are the ones that are clogging up the system and making us wait. Like, we wanted to see justice 2 years ago. We were ready. I was ready 2 years ago when I heard about all this. When I started following Q, I was like, January? I thought they were going in January of 2018. And man, it has taken every ounce of patience and what I have given up for this. But friends, the respect of many of my family members, they think I'm crazy, and where they used to listen to everything I had to say, and now I can come out with information about nuclear fusion or the government's weather modification programs, and the fact that they're well researched doesn't matter. They just don't believe anything I say. So losing that credibility is, because my family's the most important thing in my life, is tough. But if you believe that this is more than just a fight for Republicans, Democrats, if you believe that when it comes down to it, in the end, this is something much bigger, then I guess 2 weeks of them not respecting every sentence I say, I got to give that up, and I have to be there for them when they are ready for the information. And you should too. So, that's what I'm going to stop here, because I think it's getting a little long, and I will do another one because I want to. I built a website, and I'm going to probably put it online tomorrow. And what it is a guide to podcasters. There's some podcasters that are very heavy on Q material, some that are current events, some that are deep dives and in research. And since I've been watching for 2 years, I thought that I could give a list of at least maybe the top 25. And you could go to my website and try them out. Try them out, see who you like, see who you don't, see what information you want. And, I'll have a PayPal link on there. I don't know. I would love to make money. It would be awesome to make money off of this. But, so if it works, it works. So I'm going to say goodbye now, and I will see you on the next podcast. Bye.